This is Emily, president of Advocates of ADEC and podcast host. Welcome to another episode of our monthly podcast, Expert Tips by ADEC Self-Advocates. Welcome to a very spooky episode of Expert Tips by ADEC Self-Advocates. I got a pumpkin spice latte in hand, and I'm ready for this fall-inspired episode with Susan. How do you pronounce your last name?
Faltinsky.
Faltinsky. Anyway, thank you for coming.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here. What are we going to talk about today?
It's kind of like our very own version of like a Halloween-inspired episode.
Okay.
You know how like TV and the media, they have like their own inspired Halloween episodes?
Yeah, like the every year they'll have their spooky bats and witches and cauldrons on the shows.
Yeah.
Awesome. Do I get to be the witch?
I mean, you can't be.
You've got your costume on today, I see.
Yeah, the laziest costume ever.
I love it. I like anything that's lazy.
Yeah. And I love anything that's Halloween. Including this pumpkin spice latte.
Is it your first one for the year?
Not really.
No.
I had one from like Starbucks.
Uh-huh.
I'm still trying to get my Dunkin' Donuts one.
Yeah. I don't think either of them are going to beat the Gaining Grounds one, though. That one's pretty spot on.
I agree. The Gaining Grounds one is pretty good. I agree.
Yeah.
What do you say about like the Celtic colors of Halloween?
Oh, the orange and black,
Yeah.
like the origin of that. So there would be an end of harvest season festival, and the primary colors that they would use during that celebration would be orange and black. And black would represent the death of summer, so the end of harvest season. And then orange would represent the life of fall, and so kind of welcoming in the colors and the season of fall.
That makes a lot of sense. So do you do anything fun for the spooky season?
So I love to go to the Heroes and Villains at the Wellfield Botanical Gardens. That is a lot of fun. That's been something that we've done the last few years. When my kids were younger, we would go trick-or-treating every year. I think last year was the first year that I haven't trick-or-treated in about 25 years.
Wow.
They're also grown now.
Yeah.
And I was actually asking my daughter if she had plans this year to do any trick-or-treating. And she said no. She thinks she's just going to hang out and we'll watch some movies together. So I'm kind of excited about that.
Yeah.
And then I want to start a new tradition where I take the grandkids to like pumpkin patches. So, what about you guys? What kind of fall and Halloween traditions do you have?
I remember doing a lot of trick-or-treating when I was young. I love dressing up. Literally, I think about it all year round.
What kind of costumes would you dress up with?
There was one time I was a mad scientist. There was one time where I was a lawyer.
Very cool. I like the non-traditional costumes.
Yeah.
Normally, like the number one costumes usually are princesses and superheroes. Like every year, those are the top of the chart costumes. But I like the more original ones, especially ones that people put together themselves, like mad scientists and attorneys.
Yeah. There was one time where I did like a chainsaw maniac.
Ooh, scary.
Yeah, it's a little dark.
Did you carry a chainsaw around?
It was like a plastic chainsaw.
Still scary.
Yeah. I like doing the ADEC annual Halloween party.
Okay. That would definitely be fun. What's your favorite part of the party?
Honestly, I'm obsessed with Halloween, so I love the
The
idea
whole thing.
I love a Halloween party. I like all the Halloween music that they play.
Monster Mash?
Yeah. There's so many good Halloween songs.
Yeah.
Like, I Put a Spell on You.
Ooh, that one is good. I
Mm-hmm.
do like that one.
Yeah. Do you think, do you believe in ghosts or that Area 51 is real or other paranormal activity?
So there are definitely some things that I think I can't explain. I don't know if I would necessarily say that I believe in ghosts, um, but I think that there's definitely some energy that gets
Mm-hmm.
left behind in some circumstances that just kind of lingers for a bit. Um, when I was little, so my grandfather, he passed away when I was about 12. And we had moved in to help take care of him before he passed away. And I could swear that in the wintertime, I would hear him out shoveling the walk. But I mean, nobody would be out there shoveling. Um, so, or that I could hear my grandmother in the bathroom getting ready for bingo because she would go to bingo every weekend. Um, but, that could have just been my mind playing tricks on me. I don't think I've ever seen anything that I would consider a ghost. What about
Mm-hmm.
you? What are your thoughts on that?
I just, I believe that there's like a supernatural energy
Mm-hmm.
around it. Do you know what's interesting about all of us being the both of us being Halloween enthusiasts?
What?
Well, you help others for job transitioning to feel less spooky.
That is true. We try to make things a little less scary when they start to transition toward the world of work and increased independence.
Yeah.
And funny enough, October is National Disability Employment Awareness Month.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that you knew that.
Well, I mean, I'm the director for employment services, so
Yeah.
that kind of comes with the territory.
Yeah, fair enough.
I love that it falls in the month of October, though, because it can combine two of my favorite things: employment advocacy and spooky stuff.
Mm, fair enough. I actually never heard of it, so it's interesting that you knew about it.
Unfortunately, not enough people do know about it, which is why we are trying to, get that word out there and kind of help celebrate and share information surrounding helping individuals with disabilities obtain employment and reach their personal goals. Now, you have a job, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
So, and did somebody tell you that you had to get a job, or did you decide that you wanted to get a job?
I just decided that I wanted to get a job.
Mm-hmm. How would you have felt if somebody told you no, that you couldn't because of a disability?
Mm. Well, I just don't think it would have been very fair,
Yeah,
especially considering everybody else is able to get a job and yet I can't because I have a disability.
right. And you've been very successful in your position, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've added hours, you've gotten increased tasks and responsibilities. So,
Yeah.
unfortunately, there are a lot of people out there that still believe that people that have disabilities aren't able to contribute or aren't able to work like everybody else, when in fact they are. And of those individuals that are of working age that have disabilities, there are only 3% people that choose not to work due to economic reasons. So the rest of that unemployment rate is due to maybe employers not being open or feeling like they don't have the supports to be able to do that. And that's kind of where we come into play in my department. We help people figure out what kind of work they might want to do and how to be successful in that work, and then we match them with employers.
That's great. It's a great thing for people like me who are able to get a chance to get out there.
What has happened in your life since you got a job? Like, what kinds of things have changed, or has anything have you had some experiences that maybe you wouldn't have been able to have if you hadn't gotten a job?
If I hadn't gotten a job, I wouldn't have realized how much experience I would have had to work at Chemcrest
Yeah.
if I wanted to.
You could work anywhere.
Yeah.
There's lots of opportunities out there.
Yeah, like isn't there like an internship going on?
Well, it's in the works, so we're hoping to be able to announce the details of that soon. But definitely, we are in conversations with ChemCrest about offering opportunities for the participants at Skills and Training to be able to do a paid internship at one of their locations. So that's super exciting.
Yeah, I heard about it. Like I got a paper about it as well.
There's a lot of employers in this area actually that have opened their doors to us now and started to hire individuals that have disabilities because they see the benefits that come with that.
Yeah, and it's great.
You have a dependable workforce. You know, you have people that want to come to work when they're scheduled to work. People with disabilities, they have fewer attendance issues, which is something that a lot of people think that, oh, if they have a disability, they're going to miss more work because they're going to be more sick or anything like that. And it's actually the complete opposite. People with disabilities have a better attendance record than those without. They are very determined to do a great job. Unfortunately, it might be because they feel like they have something to prove, but that definitely drives and motivates them. I know that with my own disability, sometimes I feel like, okay, I have to show that I can do this. I'm not going to let my disability, make me unable to do my job today. So it pushes me just a little bit harder.
You have a disability?
I do have a disability. I have an autoimmune disorder, rheumatoid arthritis. Some people call it RA. And so what that means is sometimes my body decides that it thinks that it's sick and it tries to attack what it thinks is making it sick, which unfortunately is just my body. So my immune system will cause lots of chaos inside of me, which results in pain and inability to move. And it's not fun at all.
That I think is interesting. Like, disabilities can literally come from anybody.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many people out there that have disabilities that might not necessarily be visual. You can't just look at somebody and know that they have a disability. Mm-hmm. And you can't just look at somebody and assume that they do have a disability.
Right. Exactly. Like, you never really know who has a disability and who doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they don't obviously look like they do.
Absolutely.
Sorry, you're going to say something.
No. It's just agreeing with you.
All right. So what do you do as an employment consultant?
So as an employment consultant, we will work with individuals one-on-one. And so the people that we're working with are people that have disabilities that want the opportunity to get a job and they want an opportunity to work. So if they have never worked before or they don't know what they want to do, we are going to spend some time with them figuring out what they like, what they don't like. We're going to take them to places that they might be interested in so that they can see, what does this job look like? What do people that do this job every day, what are they actually doing? Because when you think about a job, you have this picture in your mind. And then sometimes when you get to that job, it's totally not what you pictured and it ends up being something that you don't like. So we want people to have that information. And then if they say, you know what, that does look like something I would enjoy, we're going to set up an opportunity for them to try some of those job tasks. Because again, seeing a job and doing a job can be two completely different things.
Very true.
And we just want to make sure that everybody has that information so they can make that informed choice about what they want their job goal to be. So after we work with them and figure out, okay, this is the job that they want to do. These are the skills that we've identified, and this is the support that we know that they're going to need to be successful in that job. We're then going to help them start interviewing, applying, making job matches, going to job fairs, and networking to help them get hired doing that job that they've decided that they want to do. And then even after they get a job, we're not like, okay, best of luck. We're not going to ditch them. We're going to stick around and continue to provide those job supports. We're going to help with their orientation, their initial training, facilitating communication between them and the employer, building relationships with their coworkers, so that eventually we can fade out how much we're there at the job site helping them, so that they can become more independent and, have those natural supports that everybody else has at work. If I'm at work and I don't understand something or I need help with something, I'm going to reach out to my coworker or my supervisor and ask for that. So we help them build those relationships so that they have those long-term successes as well.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That's great. It's a great thing to learn how to do, especially if someone's having a hard time sticking up for themselves and saying that kind of thing, that they need help.
Absolutely. And we provide this service at no cost to the person that's looking for a job or to employers that are wanting to hire individuals. These services are funded through state agencies like vocational rehabilitation or the Medicaid family supports and community integration waivers.
All right. What do you think is the best way to handle the follow-up process after you helped someone apply for a position?
So, it's really going to depend on that individual and that specific position. But typically, once they apply, we would do the same thing that we would do if it was us applying. We would follow up with that employer. We would inquire about the status of our application. We would send a thank you email after an interview, thanking them for that opportunity.
So what are tips for preparing somebody for a job interview?
Well, research the company. Go to their website. Make sure that if it's somebody that makes something, you know what they're making. If it's somebody that provides a service, that you're at least familiar with the types of services that they provide. You want to demonstrate to that employer that you know what you're applying for and that you are excited to be able to be a part of whatever it is that they're doing. Definitely have some questions prepared that you're going to ask that employer. They don't have to be like any super deep questions. It could simply be, what does the training for this job look like? Or how long is the orientation period? Just having some initiative of having questions prepared to ask at the end of that interview or during that interview. And then making sure that you are dressed appropriately for that interview. Don't show up to an interview for an office job in some ripped jeans and flip-flops. That's probably not going to go over very well.
Yeah. Thank you for watching this spookier episode of Expert Tips by ADEC Self-Advocates. Thank you, Susan, for coming.
Thank you, Emily, for having me.
And thank you for listening. And maybe we'll catch you next time.